Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Today's vlog is going to have a little bit different feel, a little bit different momentum and presentation than I normally do. Most of the time, I drive around showing a lot of fun stuff, interjecting an overload of humor into the content. Today's not going to be the case. This is a subject matter that I have researched and followed for many years, and it really does not lend itself in any facet to comedy and humor and disrespect of that fashion. So if this is not your type of subject matter, please understand. We'll be back to our normal, campy, fun-filled type of vlogs tomorrow. But I wanted to check this location and this town out. Here we go. Tucked away in the corner of Arkansas is a town by the name of West Memphis, a small little community just a few miles from the Tennessee state line. And this name has now become infamous with an event that changed this small town forever. Up until that point, I'm sure the town had issues and struggles like any place does, but nothing could have prepared them for what was going to happen, not only with the tragic event, but also the way the locals reacted to that moment. On May 5th, around 7 p.m., the police department was alerted to the fact that 3 young boys had gone missing. They searched a little bit that evening, but it wasn't until the following day, May 6th, that them and the rest of the folks in town took it very, very seriously. Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers lived in this neighborhood and attended this school. They were second graders, best friends, and Cub Scouts. On the back side of these houses used to be a lot more heavily wooded and was referred to as Robin Hood Hills. The entrance to the former wooded area would have been down there. They have since bulldozed all the trees since that day. Over in here would have been another area that was very thick with woods. Only a few remains of some trees, but it used to come out to probably about here, and there used to be a ravine that went across that direction that they have filled in with dirt since then. Spawned off of this waterway, which still exists, right in the ravine, right about in that area, is where they found the bodies of the 3 boys. Perhaps one of the most famous images from the crime scene is this pipe that stretches across the still existent waterway. This is where they found 2 of the bicycles in the water below the pipe. There is quite a bit of disturbing video footage and photographs online if you so choose to research on your own. Not really going to show too many photos from that day, except for where the bicycles were found there on either side. One bike on one side of the pipe, one bike on the other. A lot of the images you will find, if you decide to look this stuff up, are definitely disturbing, so I warn you. It's very sad, especially seeing this. It's very sad. When you are visually familiar with an event, when you have seen it on television and researched it over the years and seen photos and videos, and then you show up to the location, even that guardrail back there, it brings back memories, you know, of what you've always learned about and seen. Kind of hits you hard. Imagine being one of those 3 cars parked there every night, living in that house. They have to know. Can't even imagine. The waterway is referred to as the 10-mile bayou, and there are a couple other key landmarks in this case as well. In this now empty parking lot was a truck wash called the Blue Beacon, and it's right next to where that wooded area used to be. And if you look at old photos, the building was blue, just like the paint on the sidewalk there. A little chilling reminder. For obvious reasons, plenty of neighborhood watch signs in the neighborhood now. Here was that original entryway into the woods. Right there, that little road would lead into the forest. Naturally, anyone in that situation, when hearing the news of their children and the people in the town, they wanted answers. They wanted to know who did this. 3 teenagers had the finger pointed at them and eventually were convicted of the murders of the 3 children. These 3 teenagers went on to be known as the West Memphis 3. But this is where a lot of debate comes into play. Originally, the locals around here were convinced that those 3 guys were the killers. But over time, some people have changed their way of thinking. Even some of the parents of the 3 8-year-olds have changed their tune and said that the incarcerated teenagers were innocent. And that is where my speculation and opinion will come to an end, because the fact of the matter is, I really do not know, and there is no information that I can share that has not already been discussed in great detail. So that's where I'm going to leave. That's where I'm going to leave that. This fish and chicken place here, called Sharks, was formerly a Bojangles restaurant. It's on the back side of the train tracks and not too far from the wooded area where the crime scene was. This is a very pivotal spot for those who have followed the investigation, because this is the location where supposedly a man, the night of the murders, went in the restroom, cleaned blood off himself, and then left. This man, since then, has been given the nickname Mr. Bojangles, because no one knows who he is. It's not open, but by peeking in the window, you can see the hallway and you can see the restrooms at the end of the hall. It is amazing how many crimes are never really fully explained how they are done. We never really know what happened unless we were part of it, we were there. Not just this case per se, but so many others. There's so many mysteries out there, speculations, comments, criticisms, concerns on the way things were handled. Detective work has got to be an interesting subject, and police investigators, none of that I know anything about. I do a little bit of research on my own, but nowhere on that level. And it's hard for me to chime in with opinions and speculation on things simply because I do not have all the evidence, I do not have all the facts. That's why I always try to keep things biased. Is it unbiased or biased? I try to keep everything middle ground and look at it from both sides. I hope you understand. But I do know that the event that happened right there, May of '93, was a tragic one. I can't even fathom what it was like for the families in the town. So sad. Leaving Arkansas now, about to cross over the Mississippi River and into Tennessee. Over to my left is Memphis, and I will see you tomorrow from there for a little bit more of a lighthearted subject matter. Take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Storms on the horizon tonight. It's supposed to be really bad. As mentioned yesterday, I am now en route to find a hotel to get out of harm's way. Vlog